with me, the case was, okay, if my dad wants to buy a car, he would go to Mr. Verma or Mr. Sharma in his neighborhood, or maybe his brother or someone, and he'll say, okay, yaar, Menghani sir, ek kaam karo, aap Creta le lo, because that's the best car out there in India.
Welcome back. Happy World Social Media Day again. It has been an incredible 2 days, and I understand that there was so much for you to take in. And hey, to make sure that your energy does not go down and to pump things up, we have Nitin with us, and guess what? He is going to be talking about influencer marketing. How can you have a social media day, a summit, without influencer marketing? So over to Nitin and our lovely host for the evening, 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗹𝗶𝗏. Before that, as always, you pretty much know what I'm going to say now. The mail which you got, that was from HandySends. Make sure you check them out. And without further ado, 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗹𝗏, over to you.
Okay. Hi, folks. So how is the summit going so far? I hope it's been a mad, crazy pulse for you with these 2 days. But again, thank you for all those tweets you have been doing, the posts, the stories, and the shares and everything. It is impossible for us to pull this whole thing without you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so today on this fine day, we have Nitin with us today, and he's going to engage us cheerfully on this topic, how brands are leveraging influencer marketing. So there are like many need of our topic, but this one we can guarantee it is 100% the need of our, because you can see like the future of marketing is going to be more about a human to human. Makes sense, right? With all the madness right now running around, you are craving for a human face, you are craving for a human relationship. And of course, influencer marketing is going to be the top of that. So it feels nice when a human recommends you a product or a brand rather than seeing just a sponsored ad, right? So on that note, we have got the perfect person to speak on the influencer marketing. You might be wondering why, but here is some quick insights that I'm going to give about Nitin, and it's going to blow your mind. He's the chief talent manager at Monk Entertainment, and he is also a brand partnership associate there. He is going to crack the code behind the successful influencer marketing, because he has worked with some of the top YouTube influencers, Instagram influencers, and pretty much with major brands like Mamaearth. And you know, Mamaearth has actually 𝗫𝗫𝗁𝗫 Shetty as their brand influencer. That makes sense, right? So we found Nitin for you in that. Apart from that, he has worked with Castrol, Mivi, Wow Skin Science, Citron, Piggy, Flow Mattress. I could keep going, guys, because this is a never-ending list. And I don't want to waste your time and keep you all waiting there. So over to you, Nitin.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, first of all. I'm glad to be a part of this. So much for having me. And yeah, let's start the whole conversation. Yeah, like, again, so I just realized that I have to update my LinkedIn now, because there are more talents and more creators and the more brands I'm working with right now. So I have to update my LinkedIn soon. But guys, like, let's begin the whole conversation. Like, so I'll just share my slides right now. There are a couple of them only, and then we'll be talking about the topic as well. Okay. Okay, so here's the, okay, so this is your branding, guys, by the way. So this is also like, you are creating an influence here. Okay, so my topic is, how are the brands leveraging influencer marketing? It's very simple, it's basically the need of the hour. Okay, so I'll explain you what exactly is influencer marketing first. But before that, let's discuss who exactly is an influencer. So guys, like, the concept of influencers is very old. For example, I'll tell you, for example, let's say, guys, how did you guys buy a car? Okay, what car do you own, and how did you buy that car? Like, how did that whole decision happen? Can you please elaborate on that, both of you?
So when it comes to, with the car as such, right?
Yeah.
I mean, car is a big deal here in India, it's a massive purchase. So when you say a car, I am definitely not going to be going to, like, let's say, I'm not going to look at an ad which says, hey, do this, do that. Or what I would do is, if I see Amitabh Bachchan walking into that car, And I'm like, whoa, Amitabh Bachchan is walking into that car. Of course, I want to walk into that car as well.
Makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. So you again, like for example, you give me a perfect example of Amitabh Bachchan, but I'm going to clear it right now as well. So for example, with me, the case was, okay, if my dad wants to buy a car, he would go to Mr. Verma or Mr. Sharma in his neighborhood or maybe his brother or someone, and he'll say, okay, yaar, Menghani sir, ek kaam karo, aap Creta le lo, because that's the best car out there in India. So that's when my dad bought Creta, because he got influenced by Mr. Sharma or Mr. Verma. But it's not the case with me anymore. I cannot ask for suggestions with my friends, with my relatives, and all that stuff. I have to make my own choices, and that's when like people who I follow online come in. For example, I follow this guy called Mumbaikar Nikhil. Let's say Madan Gauri. I manage him. I work with Mr. Gaurav Taneja as well. So if these people add some context to that whole car as well, na, I would say, okay, let me buy this. Okay, that's when the whole belief comes in. That's when the whole context of the whole buying car comes in. So that's when, as millennials, this is something that we have to focus on. Okay, so I'll have a couple of slides in which I'll tell you what exactly. So you mentioned that, okay, if Amitabh Bachchan is selling a car, I would buy it, but that's actually wrong. I'll tell you why. So okay, so here's basically Mr. Shah Rukh Khan is trying to sell us a bat. What do you guys? Any comments on this ad, guys?
Okay, you got me here.
Okay, this looks
Any
kind of
comments?
weird, right? I mean, Shah Rukh Khan is trying to sell us a bat.
Okay, and does it look believable now?
Perfect.
Of
Anybody is
course.
fine.
It's sold, right? It's sold, right?
Where do I swipe my card?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You're not really selling products anymore, man. You are just selling content and belief and trust. How can you leverage this is basically key. Okay, I am putting out content for a year now. So let me also monetize that content. I'll have a brand inside me and I'll say that brand, okay, yeah, pay me X amount and I'm going to market your product on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram page. And that's what we do as an agency, as Living. This is what we do actually. We manage creators, we get them brand associations, we get them event associations, and that's when the whole game of influencer marketing has changed. So yeah, so this is one thing. Actually, this is the end of my slide. I'm gonna be stopping my share right now, and this is like the last slide. If you guys want to connect me on Instagram or something, this is the last slide. I'm just gonna be stopping the screen sharing, and then let's just talk into topic. Okay. Okay, great. So guys,
Wow.
like as I said, okay, like Shah Rukh Khan, people know that. Okay, for example, let's say I see that ad from Shah Rukh Khan saying that, okay, buy i10 or buy Hyundai cars. So that's not believable to me at all, because I know that he stays in Mannat. That's the biggest apartment. He's the highest paid actor and all that stuff. I know that he doesn't ride around, Sandro car or maybe a i10 or a Hyundai car, right? But let's say if an online influencer, let's say I manage this guy called JF Films as well. He comes in and he's India's #1 motor blogger, and people know that he's a middle class guy. He's not really very rich. He's not very poor as well. He's a middle class guy. He has his own, he earns money, he spends them, invests in motorcycles, cars and all that stuff. So now what really happens, whatever belief we have in that person, for example, I've been seeing him for a while. I have been seeing him for 2 years now. That's when I have a belief in this guy. Okay, this guy is very genuine. Okay, so now let's say I'm his biggest fan. Right now I'm managing him, so I'm not a fan actually, because I cannot be a fan if I'm managing him. But let's say if I'm a fanboy to this guy, I will actually leverage the whole vibe of the person. So let's say if JS is saying something, it has to be right. I would believe that whole persona will be created. The trust JS is selling, the brand will leverage on that trust, and people will buy that product for sure. So that's what is happening in a real time. If you guys can just give me quickly examples that if something that like that has happened, for like that example, give me a name, give me like a product that you have purchased after an influencer or a YouTuber or Instagram has maybe recommended it. Has that ever happened to you guys?
Okay, I have actually once purchased a shoe, because I'm not very much fond of shoes and I actually don't know much about shoes. So when I was like trying to look for shoes, it was actually weird, because I don't know why I was like Googling for shoes. I found it in Instagram video. Then I actually went to YouTube. So this guy was talking so great about this one Adidas shoe, which is like very expensive. But at one point of time, I found it very convincing because
Okay.
that guy's appearance, the way that he was telling, it kind of like resonated with me. So it was in so much urge. I end up buying that shoe actually. After
Okay.
that's a different story. Like after
Yes.
purchasing like a couple of years, I was regretting why did I buy this. But like when I was like purchasing and when I was watching his video, I was like really impressed by the way he was talking to me.
Okay, great. So yeah, that's what brands know exactly. Okay. So for example, if I'm so guys, can you also just to add some context, can you name your favorite YouTubers or maybe content creators? Can you like name two of them?
Uh, the person that you are working with, Gaurav Taneja, he's a big
Okay.
fitness influencer, right, in the industry.
Exactly, exactly. Yes.
So if you look at fitness again, I mean, since we're on the field, on the
Yeah,
side
yeah.
of fitness,
Mm,
so
yeah.
fitness, I follow this guy called 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗶𝗶, and there's a guy called Jeff. I fail to remember the second name. There's a guy called
Okay.
Jeff, and then there's a guy called @𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗶. I love all the content those guys are putting out.
Got it, got it, got it. So I don't really know about this creator, but I have worked with Mr. Taneja. So I would be giving a lot of examples out of Mr. Taneja now. Okay. So let's say you again like Mr. Gaurav Taneja is working with Mamaearth, right? So that's when he actually had that hair fall problem, and he actually resolved that whole problem with Mamaearth products. So that's when even the audience know that this guy is very genuine, and we all know. Like I am a very loyal fan of Gaurav Taneja, and that's when this happens, right? You know, like people go in the comments, they engage, and they buy whatever the influencer is saying. For example, if someone is having maybe pimples, maybe hair fall or something like that, so they would actually prefer Mamaearth because that's the branding that Gaurav Taneja has done by his face value. And even what brands leverage on now, for example, what they'll do now, they'll take an access to your. So, for example, let's say Mamaearth comes to Gaurav Taneja and says that, okay, can you please give me access to your Instagram and Facebook account? And once the access is given, uh, people like the brands can retarget us again and again. So, for example, if I'm watching the videos daily, they can again retarget, and that's when they know, okay, this is the person who actually sees Gaurav Taneja. So yeah, like I am really motivated seeing that guy who he does two, three things at one time. Right now, things are not really correct with him right now. But usually he was, doing a pilot job and he was doing fitness at the same time. He was vlogging at the same time. I've actually worked with him in like, for example, we were doing a festival in Social Nation. Okay, so Social Nation was a event organized by One Digital. So I was actually managing the backstage for him. So that's when I saw the impact. 40,000 people were just standing for this guy to perform. So that's the impact they are creating. And brands are just trying to partner with them so that they can actually create some real leverage. Because even let's say if you advertise on TV, okay, so let's say a TVC is running on TV for let's say a minute. Someone comes in and tries to sell, let's say, a protein powder. For example, you hire John O'Brien. I'm just giving a fictitious example. Let's say My Protein runs a TVC on TV, and they are like, okay, let's hire John O'Brien for this. Instead of that, you'll spend crores on that whole project. Instead of that, hire 10 people like Gaurav Taneja, Jeet Salal, Rohit Khatri, anyone big in fitness, hire them, take them, like tell them to add some content on YouTube. And that's when you did more sales, because while you're watching TV, you're not really buying. But once you're watching YouTube, there's a link in the description as well. And you get discounts, like on a particular influencer and all that stuff happens, right? So that's when the whole leverage is created. People are seeing the video, and just after seeing the video, they're so influenced that they're going to buy the product as well. So if you're fitting in that whole category, that's when you actually ended up having a purchase as well. So these are something that, so even before I started working in this industry, I never realized this. But the day I started working, I was like, oh, acha, this is also paid. This is also paid. Okay, this is a real influence again. So yeah, this is what it is in a nutshell. That okay, this is really happening. Again, I would give an example of this guy called Mamaearth. So I am a big fanboy of this person, and I've worked with him as well for a couple of projects here and there. And what really is happening with Nikhil right now, he's endorsing a brand called Mivi. Again, you guys saw in my bio that I worked with Mivi as well. With Mivi, the case is that each and every influencer of India is working. So these people have the highest budgets in influencer marketing. Not in terms of money, I would say, in terms of the value that they provide. The products are fully Indian. They are, for example, so for someone like Nikhil, they are arranging trips. Nikhil is a travel blogger. So they are arranging trips for Nikhil instead of giving him straight money or something as well. But that's not really the case every time. Then sometimes the creator is also looking for other benefits as well. For example, He wants to go to exotic location and all that stuff, right? Cool. So yeah, that's what it was in a nutshell. Again, so people, again, coming to the same point, people won't really trust Shah Rukh Khan now because they know he's a billionaire anyway. But people will trust most of YouTubers, influencers, which they're a part of daily life. For example, when I see Gaurav Taneja right now, I feel, okay, I'm a part of his family. His child is very cute, and like, ma'am, Ritu ma'am is very good, all that stuff I feel. So I just feel a part of their family. And whenever I speak to them on phone, I just feel that whole vibe again. So that's the influence, basically in India, to do a business, you need trust and you need some emotional story as well, just to build trust in your audience, right? So that's what I believe. And that's what the influencers also doing towards the end of the day. For example, a lot of times, for example, for example, every major influencer came out during the time of YouTube versus TikTok, or maybe when this the whole China thing is happening right now, right? We are let's say we are in the middle of the war as well. So that's when each and every person is boycotting Chinese products. For example, someone like Gaurav Taneja was telling me, Nitin, I don't want to integrate with this particular brand. I cannot name the brand for some purposes. But yeah, I don't want to work with them because it's a Chinese brand. So that's when even people like them are also very picky about the products they promote and all that stuff, and they use it and then they promote it. So this is what the brand likes, and this is what the customer likes, and this is what the viewers of the videos like. Okay, this guy is very genuine. Let me associate his face to my brand, and that's when in the long run I'll be selling more products. So that's what, guys, my speech was basically. It's again, I thought I made some sense. Actually, I'll give you a context about the industries this incorporated, and that's when they started selling products and all that stuff, and that's when they associated with Nikhil and Nikhil, Bhuvan Bam, and mostly Sen, Carrie Minati, and everyone. So that's when this started. And I guess Mivi is the only Indian brand in the headphone space and audio space which is not really working with celebs and all. They're just working with influencers. So again, that's again, their brand property is it's more genuine than, let's say, for example, a boat or maybe any other XYZ brand, earphone brand. So that's one thing to add to it. And other spaces where influencer marketing is really happening is, let's say, auto space. Okay, auto expo happens each and every year, right? So auto expo, when it happens, a lot of budget is spent on influencer marketing. Influencers are called to the place and they have to click photos and upload it on their Instagram or maybe stories, so that people like me can see the event and decide, okay, next year I'll also go, because this is what happened. And so many big people come in, and even Gaurav is there, so let me go, this year let me go, and I might meet Gaurav also. And anyway, I'm seeing a lot of cars. So in autos this is happening. And again, like Mamaearth I mentioned, there's a brand called Wow also, who just primarily advertises on influencer marketing platforms only, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So they do a lot of FMCG products in the space of these social platforms. Mamaearth is another brand, and it's very easy to actually set up like a FMCG category product right now. It's a lot of barrier things right now. So each and every person who is capable of doing it anyway is opening business, and the first mode of marketing they're using is influencer marketing. So that's when brands have got this attention, because my retention, for example, our generation doesn't really see TV at all, right? What was the last? Yes, I was saying, what was the last time you guys watched TV?
So what I do is I wake up, I just check social, I log into work. Once I'm done, I just go unwind with friends. I generally so I mean, I don't even have to say. I know that each and every one of you there are saying, hey, I know all you do is binge Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube. So
yes. It's not TV anymore, right? So that's when people know, okay, let me advertise on YouTube, so that I get more eyeballs towards the end of the day. I'll give you a very simple example actually. So let's say I wanted to buy this phone. I have a OnePlus 6 actually right now. So boycott China 𝗭𝗪, so I'm just gonna throw this phone anyway. So that's happening. But yeah, so when I had to buy this phone, I didn't really ask my parents. I didn't really ask my brother. I didn't really ask my friends. I went to YouTube and said, okay, technical Guruji, OnePlus 6T unboxing, right? That's what we do. That's our behavior. So just to target millennials like me, brands tie up with technical Guruji, and they're like, okay, let me just have an unboxing video with you, so that my customers can just totally Google or YouTube you, and they can just buy the product. It's that leverage that the brands are getting from influencer marketing.
Smart,
and that's it,
smart.
That's what I wanted to say for a while now. Yeah.
That was damn smart, Nitin. I mean, so many cool ways to use influencer marketing, right? I would have never thought, just call people to an auto expo And because that next year people are going to show up. That was crazy.
No. That's an ongoing thing actually. So I came to know this in 2015 when I actually went. So I was like, okay, yeah, like too many people coming in and too many stars, like too many actors and too many celebs and too many YouTubers was like standing there. And I was not really influenced. Back then I was not really consuming YouTube. But next year when I came in, and the next year I skipped it. So that's when I realized, oh, this year it was way bigger and all that stuff. So that's when the whole FOMO thing happened. And next year I ended up going again just to meet my favorite, like I was on duty. I went with a creator. So it's a different story, but if any way other, I would have just gone for fun as well. So that way.
Okay. Sounds nice.
Lovely.
So like here, I have like a small doubt arising when you were talking about influencers. Let's take the example for Mamaearth. Gaurav Taneja is also an influencer for Mamaearth, and I have seen Shilpa Shetty is also endorsing for Mamaearth. So they're actually two influencers from two different levels. I mean, like when we see Shilpa Shetty, we kind of get that celebrity feel, and we might also get a feel like she's somewhere like in a major influencer of Pyramid. I must say like that. Like she's more like a brand evangelist or someone like that. But Gaurav Taneja, I could resonate like he's this neighborhood boy, or he is like someone from the community. So how do I pick the right influencer for a brand? Say for Mamaearth itself is having two different extreme levels of influencer. So when I'm picking influencer, what should I be like, looking at?
Okay, so I'll give you a very good fact about Mamaearth. Actually, Shilpa Shetty owns Mamaearth as a stake. So that's why she's endorsing it. But like I got your question, like you were basically differentiating between a celebrity promoting a product or like a normal YouTuber promoting a product, right? So that's when you don't really need to pick right now. Okay. For example, I as a person, I look up to Gaurav Taneja, not really Shilpa Shetty. That's when he's saying something, I'm getting influenced. And if I'll see some other ad, someone else promoting Mamaearth, I won't be influenced at all. It's about the creators believe in me. I see Nikhil's content, I see Gaurav's content, and that's when I decide, okay, यार जो ये बोल रहे हैं वही सच है. बाकी कोई भी बोले मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. लेकिन अगर ये लोग बोल रहे तो सच ही होगा. ठीक है, मैं ले लेता हूँ. Link in bio में जाके मैं product ले लेता हूँ. That's when the whole influence come in. You don't need to decide like this question is for brands then when they're picking influencers, but not only customers. Because anyway, like once you start selecting different genre of creators, that's when something separate happens, and that's when you are for example, no brand will have two same influencers which have same TVs. So that doesn't make sense, because anyway you're covering that audience with one influencer. So yeah, that way. I hope that answers your question. Anything else in this segment?
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm totally now understanding. Like, so Shilpa Shetty being a founder, almost like, part of Mamaearth, she is like obliged to do the promotion for Mamaearth. So that comes without need to be elaborated. No issues. Yeah. So like when we look at automobile industry, say for example, any brand from automobile industry, they don't seem to have a common influencer. But like, but like other brands, even like, let's take Mamaearth or maybe like
no.
Or anybody else. So they all have common people as an influencer. So does the industry also plays a role in deciding the influencer? Because maybe the end consumer is different, right?
Yes. Actually, I'll tell you, the automobile industry is new in this whole space. Like till now, they were just advertising on TV or selling, because selling online doesn't happen in automobile cases. For example, when was the last time you guys bought a car online, right? So that doesn't happen. So in some industries, it is difficult. So now what happens is like what I can do as a person is like, let's say I did like, so we executed this one actually. So Skoda got in touch with, so I closely work with Mr. Ranveer Abadia. He also runs a channel called 𝗶𝗶 𝗦𝘂. So again, we got in touch with Skoda, and that's when we collaborated again. So, it was the belief, and he actually had the car. So he actually owned the Skoda. Some agency got in touch with us who were representing Skoda, said, can we do a video with you guys on the channel? So we said, okay, we anyway have the car and we believe in the car. So that's when this collaboration happened. And yeah, so it was, Ranveer is not really an automobile blogger or something, but yeah, he showcased the car in his videos. So that's one way of doing it. Again, I also manage JS Slims. And even Nikhil actually he started as a moto blogger. So he goes in this category. He drove a Tesla and he reviewed a Tesla as well in the US when he was in the US again. So it's like basically different genres coming together in that whole industry. But this time the end goal is not sales. You cannot really sell a car online. You can just brand it. You can just say, this is a good product. Nikhil is saying it. The next time I want to buy a car, I might think of that whole car again. So it's not the sales, it's just the branding. The motive of a brand can be different. It can be either sales, it can be either branding. But in the case of automobiles, it is branding, because you cannot really purchase something, so expensive online. You cannot just see one video and say, "Ki, acha, mujhe ye car leni hai." That doesn't happen. And we are Indians, we would be like, best deal pe chahiye, all that stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
We love the word free everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
अच्छा एक्सेसरीज तो फ्री मिल जाए, ऐसा कुछ हो जाए.
Okay. Okay. So now it comes to a second question of me. So when we are talking about like all the types of influencers here, so how do we reach out to them? So like I am totally new into this influencer marketing as a brand or even as a marketer. So like how do I reach out to them, and like any checklist to like tick on the influencers criteria that I'm looking for exclusively for my brand?
Okay. I'll answer this one actually. So in a similar way that you reached out to me, you guys messaged me on LinkedIn, you guys reached out to me on email. So that's the same process that you have to follow. Select an influencer. On Google, you'll get, what are the top 5 lifestyle influencers? You'll get Nikhil, Shannon, Gaurav Taneja. You go to the profile, there's an email section, or you come to agencies like us. I work at 𝗦𝘁cie. I am the talent manager there as well. So what we do is like, if you give me a call, I'll suggest you, this is the brand. These are the influencers I actually exclusively manage. And these are the people who I'm in touch with as well. I can get you the best costing in the market again for these people. So that's when you either reach out to agencies, or you either reach out to the creators themselves. On maybe you try to DM them, but like people like Gaurav Taneja and Nikhil won't really reply to DMs because they get too many DMs a day. So the best way would be to email them, maybe get in touch with their manager as well. Maybe connect with the agency who can get you in touch with the person as well. So it's like basically different ways. And like we at 𝗦𝘁cie, what we do is like again, we are the pioneers of the whole industry as well. So we get a lot of direct requests, and people know who we exactly manage and everyone. So we get calls and they're like, this is something. For example, whatever, I'll give you an example as well. So I was doing like a campaign with Ather Energy. It's a electric scooter brand from Bangalore. So they reached out to me for a different creator. But towards the end of the conversation, I told them 10 other creators. I was like, yeah, I manage this also, I manage him also, I manage him also. Let's do a video with them as well. And these people, like these profiles were all relevant profiles, all automobile profiles. And that's when, like, agencies are the best place to reach out creators, and agencies knows what exactly is happening in the market as well. So I would be knowing that what exactly is Nikhil doing and every other creator is doing, and what exactly are different brands doing. So that's the best way. Either reach out to agencies, either reach out to the manager of the creator, or either reach out to the creator. Depends on the following this or the fame that these persons have. So again, that is.
Okay. So it's like you have quoted us as an example. So that shows that we did our part right, because we have you here now with us. It feels kind of proud, guys. Okay. So like when we are talking about reaching out to, influencers, reaching out to them and like to talking to them and like closing up the deal. So do we have like any way to get a non-paid influencers based on the amount of like traffic the brand is having, or based on their strength, the authority that the brand is holding? Is it like any way possible, like this is happening in reality in the industry?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, there are 2 types of influencers that, they're like that are in existence. One is like a micro influencer, one is a macro influencer. For someone like Gaurav Taneja, he's a macro influencer. He's very big in his game. He's the topmost creator in YouTube, India, right? And someone like who has just started, like for example, even I am a micro influencer. I have, I would say 1,000 followers on Instagram. So if a brand is, for example, for a brand is reaching out to me, I'm thinking, Nitin, let's do one thing. Your age is perfect to do an MBA. Promote my MBA courses. Okay, they'll say me that. So I would say, okay, what are the commercials involved in this? So either they'll pay me very little, or either they'll tell me, Nitin, you do this and I'll actually help you out with the MBA program. For example, you promote my product and I'll help you with a free MBA degree. Okay, so that's how, like, even in barter, there will be some benefits given to the influencer. Even maybe the free product, maybe the free service, and all that stuff. So it's either like there has to be a leverage created by the brand and the influencer as well. If they're doing some service, there has to be some leverage and some, help given to them. So, like even if we say it is happening on a barter basis or a free basis, there's a lot thinking have gone through this. Either the services are free, either because the influencer is actually taking an effort and it's his daytime job to actually create videos and promote them online. So yeah. So again, there are like two options. You can do it, like it's your opinion as a brand. Okay, do I want the reach right now, or do I want someone just just a little branding? So it's my opinion. I can have both also. I can have one also in the start, and then maybe have budgets with 𝗁𝘁 Taneja and Nikhil and everyone, and then I can get them on board as well as my ambassadors.
So
It depends on the brand's decision.
Yeah, understood, Nathan. Thank you. So it's basically like a win-win
Yeah.
policy for like the brand and for the influencer.
It has to be, yeah. It has to be that way, or else like again, like, it's a business transaction at the end of the day. It has to benefit both of them.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes, understood. So like when we are talking on the same topic again, you did quote like you used to promote them. So when we are doing a brand awareness influencer marketing campaign with some micro influencers, so like how do you actually structure this into a paid advertising platform or like a paid promotion campaign by like leveraging the content that the influencer is putting out there? So how do we like structure this into a paid promotion campaign for the brands?
Okay. So when the brand looks at what, for example, let's say, I'll give you an example. Okay. So let's say if the brand is looking at someone who can promote a shampoo. Okay. So like when you do shampoo and when you say like healthcare, hair care and all that stuff, automatically you would prefer a female profile more over a male, right? So that's when, let's say if you're selling male shampoos, so that's when you actually look at male influencers. If it is a female shampoo, the TG would be female, right? And vice versa, the creators as well. So now what is happening is like, let's say if I want to promote my shampoo, let's say it's a female shampoo. So I would reach out to let's say a couple of people, a couple of profiles again, and I would see that like, so the reason before I reach out, I have to see their content as well. What exactly are they doing? Are they doing comedy content? Are they doing lifestyle content? What exactly are they doing? So once I go to the content, I know what exactly it is, and that's when I actually reach out. So now I know before how the content is. Then if let's say the influencer says yes for the brand collaboration, he or she will use it for a while, the product for a while. If they think that the product is very good, it's not really harming them or something like that. So that's when they'll agree to promote it. Mostly this happens this way, and influencers don't really care about money. Sorry guys. So yeah, so it has to be a very research method. That's when the brand comes in and says, okay, this is a script this is a tentative script. You can use this script. You can say these lines and all. These are the benefits. These are the USPs of my product, and you have to cover it in your own unique style. I guess the brands who allow the influencers to just cover the integration in their own unique style are the best, because that's when the creative freedom stays, and people don't need to really push the brand. So it depends on the brand. If they want to push it, they push it hard as well. And if they really want to, it totally depends on the brand game. What exactly are they looking at? If they don't push the creator can actually come up with really amazing ideas. So that happens that way. It's basically the brand has to look at the content first, then decide what this creator can do, then reach out. When the creator says yes, there has to be a tentative script in the hand, and both of them have to agree on that script just to for the video to perform again. So like a performance to tabhi pata chalega jab upload ho jayega video. But yeah, this is the pre-upload stage that I'm talking about.
So we were talking a lot on the content that the influencer is going to throw out for the brand, and you were also telling about the tone, the content that you usually used to scan the profile, like say for example the comedy content on what they're throwing. So let's say like if the brand tone is not aligned with the influencer's content, but the influencer is having like a damn good TG, like the exact TG that you are having, how would you actually take on this? I mean, like you have a good target audience group there and you see like a plenty of potential, but it's not aligning with your brand tone.
Actually, that happens every day. Like, I would say that, okay, let me just think about this very quickly. I'll give you an example in this whole thing. For example, let's say a comedy creator promoting a FMCG product doesn't really go right. And what they do now is like they create content according to the product as well sometimes. For example, a comedy creator can say ki thoughts when you're having in a shower, and in the shower you're actually using the shampoo. So that's when they're just connecting the dots or something. But if it is not really happening now, it can happen in different methods as well. For example, a lot of people, when they start the video, they say this video is sponsored by Upgrad, or this video is sponsored by Zero, all that stuff. So even that is a good point of integrating, because the ultimate aim of the brand is to get eyeballs. once the eyeballs are delivered, it doesn't really matter what content it was. So it goes that way. It has to be planned, but it won't really give you results. That's something that I know. If it is not a relevant influencer, but it has a good, very TG and all that stuff, it won't really give you results because, the content is a little different that way.
So again, even in influencer marketing, the content is standing as the king, even there too. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole industry exists because of unique content, good content that these creators produce again that way.
So do you like help the influencers to come up with content sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes that happens because there's a lot of creative process in thinking about concepts and all that stuff. So a lot of times these creators are like really exhausted. They're like, "Ki Nitin, aap hi kar lo." This has actually happened. Is like ki we did a Castrol, like for example, in the speech I missed this point actually. This is like the first oil brand when I was 2 years old. I believe I was 2 or 3 years old. The first oil brand that I heard was Castrol. Castrol is still relevant. It's the number one oil brand in India. They reached out to us. They're like, okay, we want to work with GS Slim. I'm like, cool. So let's work. I did the contract part and all that stuff happened. Post that we had to give one idea. How can we actually integrate? So you guys won't believe, but I wrote that idea because I know the influencer mindset and I know the brand as well. So it's okay for me writing it. When it got approved, now the creator has to do it. So yeah, sometimes the creator is very stressed or maybe, they're doing 10 things in a day and we as managers are helping them out. So yeah, this actually happens. The concept is given sometimes by the manager as well. So this is something that really happens. The brand don't really know about this. I think I'm making this public now by saying this, but yeah, it really happens. But again, like we are the best people again to do this because we know the creator, we know the brand. So yeah, there's a middle way out of it, right?
Thank you so much, Nitin. Guys, like if you have missed it, you should know that just now Nitin leaked something very secret about his content creation. I hope like you guys little bit watch it again when you missed this. Okay, so like when it comes to again the terms of paid promotion and organic part that you were talking about influencer marketing and the whole idea that you were telling the content has to be good when it's about influencer marketing. So like how do we make it as subtle as possible? Because like again influencer marketing cannot be aimed same like a paid marketing advertising platforms.
Yeah.
Because people would again get that all bored idea of seeing the same idea of the sponsored ads just with a human face over there. So like how do we make this as subtle as possible?
Okay, so like I guess right now that phase is happening. Each and every creator is trying to make it subtle because that's when you actually sell the product. But again, I would say that this is just a form of marketing which is eventually gonna die. I'm not saying right now 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, but yeah, it's gonna, like for example how TV ended, this is gonna end as well. So this is one thing that we cannot really avoid in this. Okay, so now when it comes to like just subtly promoting the brand, have a time slot. For example, if a creator believes in a product, the promotion time should be 30 seconds to a minute, not more than that. So that's one way of doing it for a creator. For a brand, it's like basically they should not push the creator कि अरे sir please आप 2 मिनट के लिए कर लो, 2-3 मिनट के लिए कर लो, सही रहेगा. नहीं, that should not be the case. Let the creator come up with the idea. Let him prove to his audience that okay, this is a good product to buy. Let him convince his audience because he knows his audience more than you guys again. So it has to be a creator who has to decide, okay, I would just promote it for 30 seconds to 1 minute. It cannot be more than that, right? It doesn't look natural.
So I let the man to play the job so that it comes as subtle as possible without like pushing it on
Perfect
the
point.
Okay.
Perfect point. Yes.
Okay, so it actually feels nice to hear this, Nitin. I mean, like when you're letting the creator, the content creator to do his job without putting any pressure over him, many of the times the content comes very beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what really has happened. People have praised our agency because we are like someone who fight for the creator with the brand saying that, okay, let him do his job now. You want sales towards the end, right? That we give. But the best way is like just let that creative child be very active. Let him do what he wants and we'll get the approvals and all sorted. And, in the favor of the creator, and that's when we'll, roll the campaign. So that's what we...
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
All the storytellers now watching this whole session, the last part that you said, it actually made me also to feel so special. Most of the times I have felt the storytellers are under the pressure and they show sometimes the numbers and charts in the terms of talking about the brand strategy and content strategy. And at end of the day, even I have felt myself, I have been creating content that is like, very product centric. Like when I read it back, I used to think even I wouldn't be buying anything just for this piece of content. But when you were telling them, let
Mm-hmm.
them do the job, the sale is gonna happen. That felt like so special.
Exactly.
Thank you, Nitin. Thank you so much. So at one point of the time,
Exactly. Like, a lot of
Mhm.
times, yeah, a lot of times what happens now, the brand feels that, okay, we have paid this X amount. So now this happened, this has to happen this way. So that's like kind of rude to the creator, but we'll have to, there has to be a middle ground to it, the creator and the brand has to be on the same page, even the agency like us. So yes, that should happen eventually.
So many hearts to you, Nitin, for that last statement.
Thank
So many hearts to
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, like when it comes to influencer, you were talking about Gaurav Taneja being a family to you. So, do you think they become at one point even a
Yeah.
brand evangelist kind of people?
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
Like when they are becoming a part of your whole brand, do they like turn into a brand evangelist from the
Yeah,
influence?
so I would feel, acha, cool. Hai. So I'll give you an example again. I've given so many examples today, but again I'll be giving one. So I work for 𝗦𝘁cie𝗶𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗀. He has a brand called Beer Bicep. It's like really the biggest infotainment brand out there, right? So let's say tomorrow, if Ranveer releases a series of perfumes or deodorants, like for example, some guy who is an OG fan of Ranveer will actually buy that perfume, right? So eventually, what is happening is creating a brand. He's going to sell, merchandise. He's going to sell deodorants and all that stuff on that particular name, right? So that's when you're creating a brand. I guess even that's the even case with Gaurav Taneja as well. So he's trying to build flying leads to the level wherein he can launch his own merchandise, deodorants and all that stuff. So yes, that's really there. Like, eventually every YouTuber is going to be a brand as well if they're doing really good. So because like the best, again, I'll give you an example as well. Ki Nikhil, for example, Nikhil Sharma, Nikhil Sharma is doing a lot and it has its own and it is that, right. So eventually it's a parallel brand that is getting up. And even Nikhil is the biggest brand in the blogging space here. So the brand really happens anyway. So once you're very big, your numbers are very big, eventually you're a brand only.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Nitin. Thank you so much. Kaushik, do you
No issues
have
at all.
any great questions for our speaker today here?
Nitin, so one more thing over our conversations, you were talking about regional connect, how you handle
Yeah.
people from across India. In each district, you have an icon who you're handling that. So how important is this regional connect for people when they're
Here,
choosing their influencers?
okay. So I would say regional is something, the future of content as well. For example, I am from the city called Jaipur, Rajasthan, and I've shifted to Bombay for my further studies and all that stuff happened. Post that, what really happened is, like, I was in Bombay for a while. I technically am a Mumbaiker right now. If you look at my lifestyle and all that stuff, I'm a Mumbaiker right now. So that's when I relate to Nikhil, Gaurav, and everyone right now. But what eventually happens is, like, when the content of these people is very lethargic. For example, at some point, I won't really like, for example, right now, I like, relate to an XYZ creator. And at a certain point, I won't really like his content. So that's when I'll start looking for substitutes and, because we love multiple YouTube channels, right? So that's what really happens is, like, let's say some of my favorite creators, like I love this guy from Dehradun. So his name is Paritosh Anand, and this guy creates crazy content. He's even younger to me now, right now. So again, I love his content, but the thing is, he falls in Dehradun. He's not from Mumbai or Delhi. He comes from Dehradun. So that's when regional things happen, and the future of content is going through that only. For example, right now, like for example, Gaurav Taneja just has hit 3 million subscribers on YouTube. Now, eventually, what will happen? Paritosh from Dehradun will also hit that mark in a while, like maybe 2 years. He'll be 3 million as well. So he is also a brand now, but he is not from Delhi or Mumbai. So that's when regional comes in. The future of content is regional, and even the brands have again realized this, and that's when, like, all these people from local parts of India, Tamil Nadu is a big state here anyway. But let's say Jaipur for that matter, Dehradun, Ahmedabad, people, influencers from these cities have also come up, and they have also designed beautiful content, and that is like really brand scalable as well.
Lovely, perfect. So also Nitin, over our conversation, you spoke, and even Kritika brought this up, saying she was able to relate to that person. How how important is this aspect of relatability? Like you see yourself in that person, and because of that, you go for that endorsement. Because even I heard you say you feel like family when it's that person.
Mhm.
So what is your take? Can you elaborate a little bit on this? Let's say, okay, this person is like a friend to me, and I can see
Mhm.
myself in his or her shoes, so I would buy
Mhm.
this product.
Okay.
Can you touch on that aspect?
Yes, yes, yes. For example, I have actually traveled with Gaurav. So I treat him as a bade bhaiya. So I look up to him, and whatever he uploads now, I'm like, okay, I'm the technically the first person to see his vlog. Like, not really, but yeah, like whenever it's up, I just make sure that I have to see that 10 minute ka vlog. So I know him in person. I know how genuine he is and all that stuff. So that's when I am able to relate to him more and more. That's when this happened. For someone like Nikhil, I like when I started consuming his content back in college, I've not really met him. It was very random. I want to go to Ladakh, okay, for a long time, and I saw a video, okay, like this person has gone to Ladakh on a bike. So that was even interesting. I opened that video, and from there I was just binging on his videos. Next day, his new vlog came in. I subscribed to his channel. New vlog came in, and okay, like every day I've started watching this video. So that's when the whole habit. For example, I'll give you an example as well. I in my childhood I used to watch this show called Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Did you guys know? You guys know about this, right? So it used to come at 8:30 p.m. in the night. And every day I was like, कि अरे अभी तो खाना खाना ही है and खाते हुए देखना ही है, ठीक है? So that is very addictive, like that is very addictive for you. Now what really happens is like, I got the same feeling with Nikhil कि अच्छा 9:30 vlog आ रहा है, हाँ ठीक है, मेरे को 10 बजे तक तो देखना ही है देखना है. As soon as I get up, the first thing that I do with my chai is Mumbai ka Nikhil vlog. That's what it is. You just basically connect the dots and what is happening in your life, what is your want, and you just connect to that whole guy. And that's once you connect, once you see, let's say, the guy for a month or something, you are into the content then. Okay. And let's repeat this whole exercise with Paritosh as well. Paritosh, what happened now? He's a 20-year-old guy when he went to Bali and all, and he was staying in amazing villas and all that stuff. Even I have been to Bali before him, but I never discovered those parts again. So now, just because I watched his videos, now I want to go to Bali again and I want to wander on those parts that I never visited. So that's like, that's connect that is found. And then I DM Paridosh. I'm like, ki, bhai, I really want to. I look up to your content and let's work together. And right now we're working together. So it's just the empty slots in your life that these people come and fill in, and you're just able to relate to them. You don't really know them, right? But you are like, okay, this guy is doing something great. I have to be a part of that, right? And I really want to, like, even as a fanboy, I want to meet these people on a daily basis. I'm to anyway meeting, I work with them. But for someone like any layman, who is not really a part of this industry, so he would love to meet, like more than Shah Rukh Khan, people would love to meet Gaurav Taneja. That is, So that's one thing for sure. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm loving this. I'm loving every single minute of this as well, Nitin. It's beautiful. So here's what we should probably do. We should probably be like, we should run a poll and say, guess which brand Nitin doesn't work with in India.
All hats up to all the lovely people back at Monkey. We are doing really some phenomenal work there. So like each and every brand is in touch with our co-founders again. So yeah, that's the combination. Like that's a company to be in. I guess I got that advantage back in college when I started working.
Lovely, beautiful. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think there's an influencer in the Indian space who you're not associated with, Nitin. So thank you
So
so much for being with us.
now the tables have turned. People have started DMing me. Nitin, please like manage, please like brands and all. Please get it. So all that stuff is happening right now. But yeah,
Lovely,
we have to work towards the end of the day, right?
beautiful, nice. That's a good thing. That's a nice thing to hear. So,
Yes.
so I mean, you're giving us so much hope, and hey, thank you so much again, Nitin. This has been wonderful. I mean,
No issues at all. No issues.
time was flying. Like, I mean, I cannot believe we're 1 hour inside already. Like, there was just so much happening, and this is brilliant.
Oh,
Nitin.
it's
Thank
1
you so
hour now.
much.
Oh,
Exactly, yeah.
oh. Even I didn't realize.
I was loving this conversation. Thank you so much, Nitin.
No issues. No issues. Glad to be a part of this.
It's been lovely hosting you, Nathan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys. Is it done?
So yes, as you saw, just go look up Nitin's profile and see which campaign was the most favorite. So you see all the brands over there, right? So at least for this, Nitin has to go update his LinkedIn profile now, and then you
Okay,
will
I'll do
see
that.
all you will see all the influencers, all the brands he's associated with. Go put out a tweet, go put out a LinkedIn post saying this was my favorite campaign that this influencer did, or this was my favorite campaign that this brand ran. Let Nitin know, let all of us know, hey, you're gonna have a really cool goodie coming knocking your door. Thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you bookmark this page so that you don't miss out the other sessions. Enable pop-up notifications if you haven't already. And I will see you in the very last session. One more session to go, and that one's with CSK. So you do not want to miss that out. I'll see you there.
Hold up, just before you leave, this summit will not be possible without you, our speakers, and our exquisite sponsors, HandySends. HandySends are the official partners of Twilio Sendgrid, arguably one of the best mailing tools out there, right? These cool emails we're sending you, as I mentioned, were sent to you through HandySends as well. So make sure you check them out. They make the life of all developers and marketers alike easy. It's completely plug and play. Make sure you check them out, as I mentioned. And for the summit attendees, they have this cool 6 months for free offer, and their pro plans are at 20% off as well. Make sure you find the link down there, and we will see you in the next session. Make sure you send out all your social shares with hashtag #ThankYouSocial, thanking the power of social and our digital heroes. I will see you in the next session.